Good morning. It's Wednesday, 15th of April. If this is the session that you want, please stay. If it's not, have a scroll back if you're watching them in order. Oh, George, first in. So this is the preamble, the pre-broadcast, where it's got a little bit competitive with the first arrivals, and today we have a new winner. Scotland in first, quickly followed by Wales. Bob, you're third today. You're slipping down the rankings. In fact, as Chief Doorman, that technically makes you late for work. More Wales. Hello. Second, yeah, maybe there's a bit of a delay on my comments actually. Maybe I'm being too judgmental, Bob. I'm so sorry. Morning. Chris, your thumbs slipped. You sounded a bit Scandinavian this morning. Come on everyone. Come on everyone. It's Wednesday morning. It's movement snack time. Cooey, Carol, thank you. Yeah, any bananas in? Our banana reference was from 3 days ago, I think, when I was suggesting that it's not only what you do, but the way that you do it, which was a song by Bananarama. So I had a banana image in my head. No sleeping on the doorstep, George, that's cheating. That's not the same. Thanks for finding us, Sandra. Or did you find George? I'm confused. Carol's ready to exercise. That's interesting, isn't it? Exercise or movement? Exercise or movement? What do you think about that? Hello, Maddie. I've had to bring in a cushion for my knees because I'm getting sore bits on my knees from kneeling before you 3 times a day. Oh. Poor old knees, eh? Let's not talk about knees. I can imagine knee stories. Found George, Sandra. Yes, sorry, I misread. Okay, we are 2 minutes to go, I think, for the first movement mission, the first movement snack of the day, starting off the day with 10 minutes in the benefits bag. And you've got a whole hour this week already, an hour of extra minutes. And it's not just that they're extra minutes, it's how those minutes in this mindful specific time where we think about how we're moving, that directly link to all your other minutes. You could say it's the foundations of all your other movements throughout the day. Maybe I'm just bigging up the part, but there we go. Maybe it's my prerogative. Good morning, I've got a star from Killing. Hello, Britt. Hello, Pat. Sunny Bristol. More Wales. Oh, on the subject of Wales, Welsh friends. Thanks to professional colleagues in North Wales, this calendar has been translated into Welsh. This now exists in Welsh. Thank you, Emma Quake and colleagues up in North Wales. So that may mean that Jeannie Wyatt-Williams can support dissemination of this calendar across the whole of Wales, which is fantastic. 30 seconds, I think, unless I'm still fast. Berkshire's in. George, you will be back. Does that mean you're coming back? Belgium's in. I've had some comments about ankles and toes. So I thought, okay, well, we'll talk more about ankles and toes this morning and then at lunchtime. Okay, Carol she doesn't want to exercise at all, she wants to exercise, but a predictive text corrected her. Okay, enough. Right, should we do it? That's very funny. Kathy Moore Wales, I think Wales is right up there on the Welsh Colleague Stakes. Dundee, hello Susanna in Dundee. 3, 2, 1, ready? Good morning. My name is Bex Townley from Later Life Training. You join us again, or join us for the first time in week 4 of this Make Movement Your Mission on Wednesday the 15th of April. There's the date stamp if that helps with tracking where we are in all this. So we're on movements, the breakfast movement snack, the movement snacker club. First 10 minutes is about to be in your benefits bag, and we're in the business of accumulating additional movement minutes over and above anything else you're doing, and primarily that thinking about how we move, looking to improve and progress mobility will directly link into all of your activities of daily living and all of those other minutes that you continue to enjoy. So let's do it. Do it. As always, let me just run by the key themes again. Standing options and seated options, you choose, switch between the two, have a look at the movement and decide, do I want to do that one in sit or stand? The key aim of this morning's snack is to think about movement and mobility. So I don't want your balance challenged, so if you are in standing, some support if you need it, if you know you need a bit of external support for confidence, at an appropriate height for you. Lift up through postures, balanced across feet. I'll give you seated prompts in a moment, and start our circulation boost. So we start every movement snack with a circulation boost, and this is a rhythmical movement where we use the big muscles of the legs. This is going to help boost the circulation. Take a deep breath as we go, lift and open, and then once you're going, then start to consider, okay, how am I stood? How am I moving? What are my ankles and my feet doing? And we're really looking for a focus here on this circ boost being driven from the floor up. So lots of ankles and feet and toes. Really try to articulate that ankle and toe foot movement. Continue with that in stand, please. Here's seated. Away from back of chair, hip walk forward so that you're freely sitting. At any point, if you feel that you're starting to get tired and your posture starts to sag, we have a rest and then come up again. We too are either going to start from the foot end or the arm end, entirely up to you. If we are starting at feet, it's all about ankles and toes and feet. So slow this right down, and it's the feet that actually propel the leg, the knee upwards. If you feel that you're here, great start, but now start to work on feet and ankles. Top half is here, lifted, look at the backward movement, my arm's slightly bent, the other one comes in, and as and when you're ready, we take 2 hands. This might help with coordination, but if you're confident and happy that you've got even rhythmical movements here, go for that. As and when, a little bit of leg. When we move in these ways, when the big muscles of the legs start to move and when we bring in the upper body as well, this will have a direct effect on your breathing, on your respiratory rate, and we'll get this little increase in your heart rate. But it is small, and we call this a circulation booster. Don't want you out of breath. This should just feel at the end of that minute or so that you're ready to go, and we've boosted the circulation. We're now going to focus on a full body mobility, so how our joints move through a range of movements. Take up support if you're in stand, sit tall if you're in sit, and we'll start with the backward shoulder roll here. If you want support, this can still be with 2 hands on, or on the side of the table, or here, so there and there. And as you can see, if I come closer, it's a lift and a back, and don't forget to finish off the job, which means bring the shoulders down each time. And take these one at a time, so just after each one, have a moment to restore this upright posture. You might feel that you want to rest between each one, that's okay. It's the quality of this movement. And you can see that these shoulders, this action, links directly into any activity of daily living that requires arm movements. Certainly dressing, washing, all those things. Let's move on. Having generally got shoulders and upper back, now a little bit more focus on the neck. If I come here so you can see, it's a slow turn and a return. A little pause in the middle. This enables you to again think about shoulder position, posture is lifted. This keeps moving, folks. Can you see it moves and then comes back? It only stops in the middle. If you're doing this in standing, you probably do want a little bit of support here. Any movement that changes head position may challenge your balance to a less or greater degree. And do see that it's a definite turn. So as if you're, as Dawn would say, a slow game of tennis. By that I mean the head's not going up, it's just directly side. And all of these mobility movements, building up to 5 in total, but the quality of the movement, literally feel it. Don't just go through the motions. Stop and feel what's happening. One more on the neck movements then. Have a look. It's a little reference point here, and then it presses back. So this helps all of these combine, these mobility movements help with carrying the head literally on top of the spine in an optimum position to help with posture, balance, breathing, and performing tasks with our arms. So this may feel like a very small movement to you. That's okay. We're all different. Or if you have a flexed posture and your head might be kind of habitually in a forward position, it may feel like quite a big range of movement. Depends on you. Take them small, take them slow. Just feel your way around them. Let's inject another bit of circ boost. And don't just kind of change the weight. Think about how you're going. Picking up the knees a little bit more and really finding the feet and the ankles. So you're peeling the heels off first, all through this lifted posture with the arms. Focus a little bit more on a backward press, so you've got more shoulder mobility coming in here. Don't just flat them down here. Not suggesting that you are, just some of you might be. Here we go. Information internalised over the years. So here we go, and here also. Purposeful stuff. Change the way you move. Have a think about how you're moving and get even more benefits in the bag. Take a pause. We're on the trunk, this bit. In stand for these next 2 mobility movements. Take up a slightly wider base of support. This will help you feel more confident on feet. Support to the front or to the side, whichever you prefer. This is our lift and open, so get the spine in the back in its optimum position, and then we creep round. And I say creep, it's slow. Let me turn this way so you can see. Really strong bottom half, and really we're literally isolating the top half. Head and shoulders go round as well, and you should feel this round the middle bit. If you've got to pause, you pause in the middle. No pace, no momentum. Let the arms do whatever they want to do. Just make sure that the movement is generated from here in the middle bit. And keep lifted. We talk about length, so the length comes from the bottom rib to the top of the hip. This distance here. When we start to sag, it does this. When I talk about lift, I want this. Same in sit. In sit, give your buttocks a squeeze, anchor the buttocks, lift through the middle bit, take the controlled turn, no momentum, no speed, Literally find your way, don't force this, just go to a range that's comfortable for you. You can walk the hands round if you prefer, or you can relax them. Take a pit stop, take a pause. Now holding the body in an upright position plus turning might feel quite effortful in itself, so have a pause. If your muscles start to get tired, just have a release, take a breath and go again, because remember, we're here focusing on improving movement. In daily life, we just do what we do to get the task done, so we're probably not mindful of how we're doing that. So let's improve this mobility to further make activities of daily living more efficient, less effortful. That's what all this is about. Let's take side bends. In stand again, wider stance, side bend and come back. Don't linger down there, folks. It's just a bend and come back, and all with this lengthen here whilst breathing. We shouldn't have real big maximum contraction here. It's just a light activity. That length itself should get a little bit more activity here in the middle bit, but if you feel you want to have a rest in between each one and then go, that's absolutely fine. Keep going with that. 5 in total in each direction, so 10 on a full count. And here's the seated. And in seated, it will depend what arms you've got on the chair. So you might want to get the arms out the way a bit, or you might want to use the arms of the chair to help ease you in and out of those positions. Okay, we've done turning, we've done bending, now we're going to do extending. In seated, hands on thighs, lengthen up through the posture as always, and then for this one we take an extra extend and come back out. Keep the gaze forwards. I'm not shifting weight, I'm not leaning back through my buttocks here. My base of support stays absolutely anchored, and it's only for the movement is from here and back out. And if you can put a hand just to help guide that, gives you a reference point. Move in, move out, don't stay there. Here's stand, same again. Balanced position in the bottom half, up to upright posture, and then plus a bit more. Exactly the same rules apply as seated. I'm not transferring my weight back, I'm really anchored to the floor. And in fact, if I stand very close to a table or support, that shouldn't move. I shouldn't get any forward shift movement. I shouldn't get any thrust in the hips at all. I'm doing this because visually, just to give you a reference point. So no movement here. Can you see it's all there and there? No thrusting, not on my watch. Okay, have a little pit stop. And we're on, let's have a little bit more circuit boost. More ankles, folks, please. A little bit more ankle. Now slow this down now, so really articulate ankles. And if you're standing, do the same. So don't take the march, but pick up the heels. Da-da, da-da. And really start to find, to articulate, keep the balls of the feet behind, but lift up the heels. Because now we're on ankle mobility. So in seated, if you want this one seated, slow, 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 slow. Take up full support for this one. So I do want you to hip walk back. Just pick that foot off if you can. And here is the ankle ring. Now have a look at this and just be aware of how much this ankle is moving. Now when the toes come back towards you, just remember this now, because at lunchtime we're going to do some toe raises as a strength activity. So the movement we have in the ankle is directly going to relate to that. D, if you're watching, this was inspired by your comment, thank you. So I need range of movement. And can you see it? Just clock, just be aware how much you have. Because when your toes come up here, that will directly relate to potentially how you do the toe raise in standing when we do it at lunchtime. If you are in stand, we are going to, with support, focus on that toe raise but translate it into a step and the heel comes back behind. So really exaggerate the toe raise here, plant the heel, heel comes back. Keep support, keep support. You will need to add a bit of stride length on this to get the toe up. And can you see, we need this strength to lift up the toes. This is how we walk. This is how we clear the floor, how we change surfaces from carpets to thresholds to undulating kind of terrain, as it were. So I need to be able to pick up my toes. So if you're in stand and you're confident with this one, take a slightly bigger stride and you'll get even more range through the ankle. All right, a few little knee bends and heel raises to finish. Crowbar these in. They're free today, just for you. It's a special offer. Here we go. Heels down. It's a knee bend, small and up, and add a little squeeze at the end. A knee bend, small, small, small. I don't want a full squat. It's just a little shift back, loads of support and push up, just to get you in it. When you push up, make sure big toe, second toe. So keep the weight right over the first two toes. In seated, the same please. You're going to take some glute squeezes, squeeze your buttocks, fire them up. And then heels back a little bit in seated. And then lift. Now really give your calves an extra squeeze and lower. And you might want to do an extra little bit of quick feet before we go again. Give the toes a squeeze and up. And I'm just trying to get your feet all fired up for the day. Ooh, extended my time quota on that one, sorry. Anyway, we're done. First 10 minutes in the bag. Hopefully you feel that you're ready for the day. Perhaps you're going to go off now to do other stuff. Hopefully we've got you a bit more ready. If you fancy going around that again and focusing on those movements again, please do so. At lunchtime, can you have a cushion to hand, please? We're going to do some more ankle strength, a bit of extra stuff with the cushion. Thank you very much. Heel raises into your daisies. Jockey lifts or sit to stand when you can. See you at 12.